So I was a little emotional back there, which I normally do not get whenever I'm at a speaking engagement. And, I am a Christian, and so I realized where I was at, but there was just something moving um, about all this experience that I've experienced so far. So I tell you all how thankful I am to be here and that you all extended this invitation to me, and it kind of changed up what I was going to say. It truly did. So you don't go to sleep. Let me get right to the point so you know what I'm just here to talk about, and it is human rights and civil rights. And many of you know I am the head of the NAACP. Historically, you know that the NAACP was established by individuals who wanted to stop the lynching of black people, period. That was the start of it. And over the years, it evolved into historic cases. We have fought many battles all the way up to the Supreme Court and have never lost one to secure the rights of everybody. So we fast forward now to right now, and many of you wonder, well, what does the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People stand for? So in our mission statement, if you look it up, it will say at the very end of that mission statement that their institution supports black people. But when you read our strategic policies and when you read our vision statement, it goes a little different from that. It goes on to say that all human life is to be respected. All genders, all races are to be respected. It goes on to say that individuals who just want to be heard should have a right to be able to say, this is how I feel, no matter where you stand at, on any side of the political spectrum, or in your personal life, or in your professional life. What the institution now stands for is the ability to unite humans and respect all human life. That's what it stands for. We define civil rights, or civil rights can be defined as the rights of citizens to politically and social rights, along with the freedom to be able to exercise those rights. Human rights, the moral or the inherent rights, are for human beings regardless of their race, their sex, their nationality, the language they speak, or the religion, or any other status, that they have inherent rights right now while you live and you breathe. I say that because when you die, all those rights, civil, human, respected rights, they no longer exist. So right now, we have the ability to be able to exercise those in such a way that it brings everyone together, just like right now, right here in this worship building. You know, the civil rights are personal, and they're rights that are protected by the U.S. Constitution. And like I said before, many of you know that. And many of us in this room know that those rights exist now and will exist as long as they can, because it's important that everyone, including me, have the opportunity just to be able to speak about what we feel is the right thing to do. But here it is, not for war, not for protests, not for arguing or calling out names or being malicious or rude or disrespectful. It is just simply just for peace, just to have a conversation. That's why they exist. Now, sir, I'm going to go out on a limb here and to all the officers of the church and say something publicly that I've never said before, so I think maybe Nick and Christy may know this. But when I was 19, 18 maybe, there was an individual that I met that ended up becoming someone truly, truly important to me. And over the years, now it's been 26 years, I can't believe that. That's a long time to be with the same person. Over the years, I've made for sure that that relationship was maintained, contained, and there was never a discussion to be about it. Over the last 5 years, I realized that Dylan is now 16, so that y'all can figure out the math on how old I am. Elena is now 5. When I came into the role of being a civil rights leader and when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, the impact of what was going on in the world came right into my house in an instant. It was no delay. And then the following year, position of NAACP president. So there was a discussion that needed to be had. Why take the hit again? And what is the hit? Many of y'all are wondering, what is the hit? Let me tell you what the hit is. Is it possible for a civil rights leader in Corpus Christi, Texas, to be in a relationship for the last 26 years with a white male and have 2 kids and also be able to impact and influence civil rights? How do I go on the ledge and also speak to individuals in my own community and then also be able to do what's right for everybody? And that was no easy task. And it's not even easy for me to share that with you right now. But it's necessary because the impact that human rights and civil rights have had in the world landed in my home immediately. And some of y'all can understand that and make that connection, that over the years you can be in a position and not worry about it. You can be the head of an institution or the head of a church or the head of an organization or institution, and maybe their policies and everything really don't influence because you're just doing the day-to-day work of it. But then what occurs, what may happen, is now you have to take the reins of it. But here was the difference. Here was the difference. The difference was I had a blended family. And the difference was I had to take what the NAACP, my Christian values, and my family all in consideration at once to be, and then take that and ensure that my house was really good and in order, and then later on to make change, positive change in the community. So as a result of that, you can imagine the conversations on the night when I had to go home to say, I'm the next NAACP president. And many of you have not met Chris. Some of you all have, and I'll probably hear about this when this is over. But if you haven't, when you meet him, or if you do see him, he's a very tall individual, can't be missed. And has very been quiet. And that is because of my demands. But it was also because of, and many of you dads and moms also know this, the protection shield of not letting certain things influence your family home. I told you the story at the beginning about what happened with the security. Shared with you the story about what just recently happened with my brother. I shared with you about my life that changed in 2021, that impacted my entire family. And you're saying, Jeremy, well, what does that have to do with 2024? May have nothing to do with it in some of your minds, but it has everything to do with it. You see, what occurred almost 50 years ago, and some of you all who were in here, like the judge, may have had to deal with issues that impacted black individuals, maybe Hispanic individuals, maybe Asian or European. I don't know, because I didn't live in that time. But what I do know, and what is the reality, what I can tell you from my heart, is that what occurred then, when you look right now, may not be the same. As a matter of fact, don't let anyone tell you it is the same. I'm here to tell you it is not. But it does have a few similarities when we talk about civil and human rights that are going on right now. It doesn't mean that blacks are being killed or that individuals are being spit on or shot at or lynched. That doesn't mean that. I firmly believe in that individuals have equal rights, everybody. I do believe that, and I want you all to know I believe that. But I also know that there is another realm that can also impact the togetherness of everybody right now in 2024. And the only way that changes, which I said at the beginning, is that if you have discussions, if you have the sit downs, if you have a worship experience that I experienced this morning, to just make individuals feel welcome regardless of who they are, of where they stand, or what they've done. For centuries now, I have battled with, individuals have battled with, and I've also battled with the idea of being in a place such as this and being able to walk in and have people greet you and have people say, do you want some water? Oh, if you want to sit back there, that's absolutely okay. And God, I hope my pastor isn't watching. Versus being, because I go to a Baptist church, so I don't have to say anymore. It's different. It is so different that Chris and Dylan and Elena do not, and I refuse to let them be there. But here, in other places, it's so different. And so I realized in my writing and what I changed, I was in the back room making some notes, and what I realized is that if you walked in to certain places, the feelings are opposite. Okay? And that's not fair to anyone who wants to be somewhere where they want to be able to just worship and to just enjoy the fellowship. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Saturday, we all deal with issues, and you all know that. And you may say that you don't, but we do. And we all long for one thing, the majority of us, which is why we are here. And the one thing we long for is just one segment of peace and unity where everything else just stops for a minute. And you shake hands and you have music and you light candles of prayer that had me back there crying and that you say warm things and welcoming things like whenever we had the conversation, we just want to hear you speak on human rights, on civil rights, about Martin Luther King Jr. And Django, I know that I've made specific what I was going to talk about. And the reason why I want you to everyone to know I didn't dive right off into MLK and I did not dive right into civil rights is because I said everybody knows it, and I'm just going to be repeating it. And if anyone went to school, there's certain things that you know that you just keep and you retain. So I don't have to keep repeating something that we already know. But the one thing I will repeat and I will say is that human rights and respecting everyone is so critical and it's so important in this moment, in this time. This one last thing I want to leave with you, and I'm going to close. I'm sitting here thinking in my mind, what on earth is my family and pastor going to say when I leave from here? I believe they're watching. I know they're watching. I know they are. Let me just leave this with you real quick so you know where I'm coming from, and I want to tie this back together. Our mission in our institution of what we do is so critical. Human rights in the justice system right now. I am imploring you and saying that each one of you all, everyone here is welcome to have my office number. I can't say cell. I got in trouble for that, for giving out my cell number before. But I want you all to call me at any time after I make this statement. And that's, we are an institution that embodies everybody. I am the very fabric of who I am and what I do and strive for, of course, is loving God and my family first, but also to ensure without a doubt that everybody in this city has the right protection and that their rights and human rights are respected right now. I want you to know that being a part of a civil rights movement, being a part of a human rights movement, being a part of anything that wants to do good, you are joining and you're becoming part of a worldwide movement to ensure peace, which I mentioned before, not war, not fighting or arguing or sending negative messages, but just a simple, I want to get world peace. I want to be able to have conversations with you to understand more. And that does not mean that we may agree. I like blue, you may like pink. You may like green, someone else may like yellow. Pasta, food differences, all that. We may not like the same things. I mean, some of y'all may not like me right now, or what I'm wearing, or how I look. But that's okay, because I'm talking to you and you're looking at me. But the deal is this. When you're in the same room, even though there's differences and every face looks different, we are all here and share and breathe the same air, the same water. We share so much and not, if not all, the same natural resources. And so why not be the change makers and not look back and say, here we go from 50 years ago, and it's right now. The impact right now on human and civil rights and what MLK did, and that first song that you all sung, which has deep meaning, if you really know that song, all that right now, and all he did was filter. It sifted out everything that needed to be removed to where we're at right now in 2024. So it is so awesome to be able to share with you the impact of human and civil rights. And all I can tell you is this, real simple, that it's good, and that it's peaceful, and that there is nothing better to be able to be in a room with individuals and to be able to say, we have accomplished something, even if we walk out of the room not agreeing on the same thing. So I leave you with peace and love, and I leave you truly with my heart and the ability, Christy and Nick, to be able to share with you and your congregation this special moment. And thank you so much for your persistence in getting me here. Thank you to the lady that prayed for me. I don't even know, I don't know if she's an angel or not. I'm telling y'all, it really happened. So if y'all have cameras, you can go look. That prayed for me and my brother. But most of all, I want to thank each one of you all for looking at me in my eyes in this moment and feeling what I feel right now. And I'm so thankful that I was able just to be able to release what I was able to release when I was sitting back there. And the gentleman, I really wear glasses, so I'm assuming it's you. He came back there and said, Jeremy, if you want to walk up and light a candle, just go ahead on up, whatever sorrow, whatever. And he didn't even know that story that I shared about my brother. And so thank you all so much for letting me be here. And I want to say, truly, I think I love all y'all in this church. So bring me back. I'll come back and worship with you guys. Thank you.